Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Indicator Overview series, where we take a deep dive into how to use every indicator in the Trading Apologist TradingView Indicator Suite. Today, we're looking at the TA Benner chart, which is your zoomed out cycle tool. It projects a cycle that was first mapped and published in 1875, if you can believe it, and it marks the years where markets have historically been prone to shifts, marking years of panic, which often mark lows, good times, which are years that are usually a good period to consider selling or taking some profits, and years of hard times, which are usually good long-term buy or accumulation periods. And it's stayed surprisingly aligned with major turning points for a century and a half now. It's not going to time your entries exactly, but it does tell you where you are probably in the larger cycle and if you should be a bit more cautious, a bit more bullish, a bit more bearish, based on that setting. Now, this indicator, it comes free with any Patreon subscription, from investor to trader and of course quant. Patreon membership gives you the best deal on all of our indicators, and most are bundled with the quant tier. Then you'll find a few with the trader tier and just this indicator in the investor tier. So you also get, as a Patreon member, discounts on the rest of our web tools and other services. Additionally, you'll get all of my Patreon posts, our web-based market tools, Discord access, our live calls, and so much more. But if you simply want this indicator individually, you can pick it up at tradingapologist.com/store, and the Benner chart only runs $2 a month. So it's our most affordable indicator in the entire kit. In addition to this video content going over each indicator also has a detailed written user guide, which you can access at the top of the community section at tradingapologist.com/community. So let's get into TradingView to set up and look at how to read the TA Benner chart. All right, so starting here in TradingView, I am on the SPY and I'm starting on the weekly chart because the Benner cycle is one that we look at more zoomed out. So I'll look at this on the weekly chart and really the monthly chart to get the larger picture view of things. So if you go up to your indicators tab and you type TA Benner, BENNER, you'll see it right here. As with all the indicators, if you hit the star, add it to your favorites, it will show up right there. Or you can click on my profile as well to see all the indicators. So let's add this to the chart first. But if you click on the profile and go to scripts, then you can actually click on all these indicators to add them to your favorites at once. And it just makes life a little bit easier to have them unlocked for you. Under the community tab, tradingapologist.com/community, there is an indicator access request form where you put in your TradingView username and your email, and you will get all of these unlocked with this green little unlock checkbox. If the access is not working, it means either your TradingView username is incorrect or your email is incorrect, and you'll see that red lock right there. And to check on your username, you can just click on your profile and it will show you right here. Mine is Trading Apologist, predictably. Okay, so now we have the Benner cycles at the bottom of our chart, and you can see we have a trough buy signal back here in December of 2022, which was actually quite accurate to the bottom of that 2022 bear market where the SPY started running up. And right now you can see that we have a peak, a trim period right now coming in through this consolidation zone. And I thought that was interesting just because we're starting to get some worries about the durability of the AI trade, and we might also be seeing peak earnings. So these are not necessarily get completely out of the market style signals, but they are signals to be a bit more cautious. And if this peak signal aligns with a panic signal, which we'll look at on the monthly chart, that's when you should really pay attention. So if we go to the monthly view to see a little bit more of this play out together, and let's compress the SPY right here. And you can overlay this with any chart, but I think the SPY is really a good way to view this, just giving you that overall view of the market. The NDX isn't a good proxy because it's not weighing everything in the market as equally. It's a little bit too tech heavy. So you can see we have our last trough. Our last panic right here came actually right before that COVID dip. And our last peak trim really was a bit late, I have to say. We had that 2016 dip. I suppose in tech and crypto, there was a little bit of a dip coming into 2018. But I'm not paying too much attention to this right now because there are lots of these periods where the peak period really just leads to a bit of a sideways grind for a few months. I mean, you could say we had a 3-month pullback there, but eventually that resolved to higher prices. Now, our next dip signal was right here in 2011, which admittedly was a bit after that GFC crash. And our prior peak before that was right here, this trim signal, a lot of sideways grind, and then we actually went into the GFC. So again, not a totally precise timing signal, but it gets you to a ballpark. And one thing I would say is if you are getting oversold signals on the charts, and you can see this last trough period here was also a bit late after the .com crash, look at the weekly chart, look at the monthly chart. Are you oversold on RSI? And are things stretched on mean reversion? And you probably want to add quite a bit ahead of these trough periods, generally speaking. Now, if we just go back a little bit more, these kinds of periods are worth paying attention to, where you have a panic moment and a peak moment landing at the same spot. And this was before the .com crash. And again, this was almost a year before the peak where we first got that peak trim. It was on the 1st of July, 99. We didn't really roll over until August of 2000, but that confluence is definitely worth paying attention to. And then this trough, again, is a little bit too late by almost a year. So I personally, on the trough reads, like to think of those as something to front run by a year or more, just in terms of how I'm viewing this on the chart. Now, I realize I have the SPY up. I should have the SPX to give us the full history. And there we go. Now we can move further back. And you can see very similar things moving back in time, how we have another trim period, which just led, most of these have led to more sideways grind when we're not getting it with a panic signal. And then we had our last trough before this run up. And then I won't keep going back in time, but you can see our last trough buy here in 78 before this run up. And here we had another area of stacking between the peak and the panic. The panic didn't really nail the top of the 1980s crash, but generally speaking, they were clustered around that period. So again, not a precise timing tool. It is more of a seasonal gauge to say, okay, I think winter might be coming or spring might be coming, if we can use those analogies. And so that leads us to where we are currently. And currently, if you've looked at any of my cycle videos, we're getting to the end of, we just hit the end of a 50-year cycle. We're hitting a 100-year cycle in 2032. We have a 20-year and an 18.6-year cycle landing around 2028. So a lot of things are coming together. And then we have AI shaking things up, both in terms of how work is done and how work is automated and displaced. So society is going to need to adapt. And we have a bit of a peak signal happening now. And we have that trough in 2032. And then our next panic moment is really that 2034 to 2035 timeline. So let's move that away from my head. There we are, 2034 to 2035. We should probably pay attention. And then another trough in 2039. Now, again, I would front run these. If we have a crash that comes down sharply, I would be looking to accumulate in 37 ahead of this. And the same thing is true for this 2032. If we see a pullback into the 2030 period, I would be looking to front run this because it's historically been a bit of a laggard. And so what does that mean for right now? Well, it means for right now, I'm being cautious. And if you are in Patreon, you know that since 2025, I've been trading much more actively as opposed to leaning into longer term holds. And especially seeing this right now, it just means that I'm staying nimble and I'm looking for sector rotation, weakness, signs for breakdown on the indices, and I'm ready to get out of positions and just be patient for any pullback that might play out. I'm not selling everything. I'm not getting out of the market. I would be more cautious in a period like this in 34 to 35, but right now I'm just ready to move. Now, if you do want to edit these at all, if you go into settings, there's honestly not too much to dial in with this tool, but I did include an option here. So the panics, I have moved those to the end of the year because generally speaking, all the Benner cycles were meant to be read as an end of year read, but I noticed that over time that the troughs were already too late. So I moved those to the beginning of the year, and these peak moments, the orange moments, I have those in the middle of the year. So on each of these, you can adjust this and we can move these back to the end of the year and just give it a second. And you can see how that now snaps to the end of the year as opposed to the middle. If you want to play with that, you can, and you can back test over time. But outside of that, I would generally just leave the default settings on with everything. And if you do want to dial in anything with the waveline width or waveline color, you can do that. You can also turn the transparency down. And if you don't want these vertical reference lines, I like them just to give you a sense of where this is lining up on the price chart. But if you want to turn that off, you can do so here to clean up your chart. And we also have a legend overlay that is turned off by default, but it gives you a legend overlay on the chart as well. And the last thing would be changing your colors right here of each of these flags. So you can customize it how you want, but there's not too much to change that's going to alter the performance of this. Okay, so that is it for the TA Benner chart. Really, this is the kind of tool that I check in with once every month or two just to get a feel of where we are in the cycle and how that's lining up with the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is really my base read on this, and a lot of people don't like looking at Benner cycles or other cycles. They think it's a bit of hocus pocus, and I would propose to you that the reason cycles work is because human psychology doesn't change. Fear and greed don't change, and they tend to run on predictable timelines where hype builds and builds for a certain amount of time and then becomes exhausted. And the same thing is true for fear on the flip side of that equation. So while this continues to work, I'm going to pay attention to it. It's by no means my primary method of analysis in markets, but it is nice to give that zoomed out view. And based on this, I'm going to be a bit cautious in the 2030s because that overlap of those two periods that we looked at has been historically quite accurate. So that is it. I'll see you in the next indicator overview video. Bye for now. This isn't financial advice. Past results are not indicative of future performance. Do your own research.